What if I told you that Taylor Swift, the pop singer known for her love songs, sparkly outfits and sold-out concerts, ended up changing how millions of people watch the National Football League? A game that has nothing to do with music? This isn't just a story about love. It's a story about power. I mean, a quiet power. It's a story about timing, influence, and how one woman, without even trying, brought two worlds together: music and football. Because when Taylor Swift showed up at a National Football League game, everything changed. Millions of new fans started watching. A lot of jerseys got sold out overnight. TV ratings exploded. And suddenly, everyone, even people who didn't care about football, started talking about it. But here's the thing, this isn't just about fame or romance. It's about strategy, connection, and the way Taylor turned one simple appearance into a cultural moment that changed everything. So stay tuned. Because in the next few minutes, you'll discover how Taylor Swift took over one of America's biggest sports, why it was a brilliant move, and what it reveals about her power to shape the world, without even trying. This is how Taylor Swift quietly took over the NFL, and why it's pure genius. When Taylor Swift first appeared in the stands at a National Football League game in 2023, nobody had any idea what was about to happen. She wasn't performing. She wasn't promoting anything. She was just there, smiling, laughing, cheering for the Kansas City Chiefs. But then, something unexpected happened. Within days, TV ratings for the Chiefs games shot up like never before. Millions of new people started watching, and most of them weren't your typical football fans. They were young women, teens, and even people who had never watched a game in their lives. They didn't come just for football. They came to see her, the world's biggest pop star, sitting in the crowd, living a moment like everyone else. Soon news networks noticed. The NFL noticed. And before anyone realized it, what used to be just another Sunday game had turned into a worldwide event. Every time the camera showed Taylor Swift, even for just a few seconds, the internet exploded. Clips of her cheering went viral. Memes, tweets, and fan edits filled social media. Jerseys sold out overnight. Ticket prices soared. And everyone, from sports fans to Swifties, suddenly had something to say about football. It wasn't just a game anymore. It was the Taylor Swift effect. It all began with something small. It all began with just a friendship bracelet. Kansas City Chiefs star Travis Kelce went to one of Taylor Swift's concerts. Like millions of other fans, he was excited to see her perform. But Travis had a plan, a fun and bold one. He made a friendship bracelet just like the one Swifties wear at her shows. But this one was special. It had his phone number on it. He wanted to give it to Taylor. He even tried to meet her after the concert. But he didn't get the chance. When he talked about it later, people laughed and thought it was just a funny story. A football star trying to impress a pop queen. But soon the world found out it wasn't just a story. A few months later, Taylor and Travis were spotted together, holding hands, smiling, and cheering for each other. That moment changed everything. Two worlds, music and sports, suddenly became one. Cameras started focusing on Taylor every time she appeared in the stadium. Commentators mentioned her name more than some of the players. And even the official National Football League accounts began changing their bios and posting about her appearances. It felt like everywhere you looked, Taylor Swift was there. Fans who never cared about football were now watching full games. They were learning about touchdowns, penalties, and even team statistics, all because of Taylor Swift. What looked like a simple love story quickly became something much bigger, a marketing dream come true. The National Football League gained millions of new fans, especially young women who had never watched a game before. And Taylor Swift? She gained even more attention and love, this time from an entirely new audience. That's what makes it pure genius. Because in this story no one lost, both sides won. Taylor Swift didn't try to steal the spotlight. She didn't walk onto the field, give speeches, or perform at halftime. She just showed up, wearing Chiefs red, smiling, waving, sometimes even sitting beside Travis Kelce's mom, just being herself. And somehow, that quiet presence spoke louder than words. People all over the world started paying attention. Fans began copying her game day style, wearing red lipstick, denim jackets, and sparkly outfits just like hers. Brands noticed too. Suddenly, new NFL gear inspired by Taylor's look started appearing online. Even sports commentators, the ones who usually talk about touchdowns and tackles, began quoting her song lyrics during games. It was wild. Football had become a little bit Taylor-fied. And the craziest part? She never had to say a thing. That's the power of quiet influence. When you don't force attention, you attract it. Every time Taylor appeared at a game, the internet exploded. One simple clip of her cheering or smiling from the stands could break the internet in minutes. Videos of her reactions were shared millions of times across TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Fans made creative edits, turning short moments into emotional movie scenes. Brands jumped in too, making memes, jokes, and even ads inspired by her. It felt like every camera flash, every wave, every smile became a piece of pop culture history. Soon hashtags like #SwiftiesWatchNFL and #Traylor, the mix of Taylor and Travis, were trending across the globe. Even people who had never watched football before were suddenly talking about the National Football League. And with every viral post, both sides won. Taylor's music streams soared. The NFL's audience grew larger and more diverse than ever before. This wasn't just about fun or fame, it was cultural dominance. It was the perfect mix of sports, romance, and storytelling. The kind of real-life fairy tale that only Taylor Swift could create. Travis Kelce was already a superstar, one of the best players in the NFL. Fans knew his name. Teammates respected him. He had built a strong reputation on hard work, talent, and confidence. But when Taylor Swift stepped into his world, everything changed. Almost overnight, his social media exploded. Millions of new followers wanted to know more about him. His jersey sales shot through the roof, becoming one of the best-selling in the entire league. And suddenly, every press conference, every interview had one big question. Not just about football but about Taylor Swift. It was like two worlds, music and sports, had finally collided. But here's what made it even more special. Through all the noise, through all the headlines and attention, both Taylor Swift and Travis stayed focused. They supported each other, not by competing for the spotlight, but by standing side by side, cheering each other on. And that's why people respected them even more. Because in a world full of drama and ego, they showed something rare: balance, loyalty, and genuine care. Taylor Swift's quiet takeover of the National Football League wasn't about fame, money, or control. It was something much deeper: connection. She showed the world that music and sports, two completely different worlds, can come together in perfect harmony. When she appeared in the stands, something magical happened. Families gathered around the TV, parents, kids, and even grandparents, all watching the same game. People who never cared about football before were suddenly excited to tune in. And in those moments, Taylor brought a new kind of joy to the sport. One filled with laughter, unity, and heart. She reminded everyone that joy can appear in the most unexpected places. Because Taylor didn't just date a football player. She didn't just show up at a few games. She changed the game. She redefined what influence looks like, quietly, gracefully, and powerfully. Taylor Swift didn't plan to become part of the NFL story, she only followed her heart. And by doing that, she reminded millions that true power isn't about shouting, it's about shining, even in silence. Thanks for watching. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to The Winning Celebs, where we uncover the truth, the pain, and the triumphs behind every celebrity story. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and share this video with your friends. Because the next story might just change the way you see fame forever. Get ready, the next one's coming soon.